Welcome to Trident Warriors, and for those of you that don't know, I've been training combat veterans scuba diving for free and offering discounted diving training, diving equipment and diving trips to supporters of the program that I've been building for the last 3 years. I was operating as an LLC and pumping all of the proceeds into funding the veterans training, and at the beginning of this year, I am finally ready to take it to the next level. We are now officially, as of January this year, a non-profit, and I wanted to take some time to tell you the ups and downs of 2023 and where we're going for the next few years. But first, let's give you some numbers for last year. And so for those of you with ants in your pants and can't focus for longer than 60 seconds, I should dedicate the next 30 seconds to you TLDR freaks.
See if I can do this quickly. We raised $9,400 for our next project. We gave $5,000 in discounts to veterans, and we sold $27,000 in diving equipment, and all members saved a combined $7,300 in gear purchases. We invested 1,066 hours combined in volunteering, and no volunteers received any payments or free rides, including myself. We trained 20 combat veterans for free, 42 civilians, and have organised 5 official Trident Warrior diving branded trips and have established 3 diving centre partners.
Alrighty, shit. TLDRs, you can exit. Right, left, up to you, I don't care. So those of you that are still with us, let's dig in. Let's see what we've done, what we've learned, and where we're going. So what's next? Well, the money raised in 2023 is going to be used to fund a pilot of a much needed study on the effects of scuba diving in relation to PTSD symptoms. I'd encourage you to check out our website at tridentwarriors.org and take a look at Operation Oculus Aperture under the project's link for more information. We intend to teach 180 combat veterans open water and advanced open water diving after an initial week of acclimation and team building, and each diver training course will last 7 days, as we will be taking our time and also conducting the physical and psychological assessments throughout the entire month of each intake. The last week for them will consist of a series of fun dives, giving our veterans some time to put into practice their new skills, and each intake will consist of 5 combat veterans with PTSD symptoms, which will have been assessed from a level 1 to a level 5, and each intake will consist of all 5 levels, and will use the power of the military style of teamwork to try and neutralize and lessen the suffering of all participants. These month-long intakes will take place in 3 locations to have a global impact, and we want to run the program with an allied military combat veterans, and we have chosen Utila, Koh Tao, and possibly Malta as the base of operations for each zone. So the Americas, Europe, and APAC. We'll be covering all expenses, including flights, healthy diets, accommodations in a shared living space, and also all of the diving equipment, materials, and wearable medical devices. We'd like to ask anybody that is interested in helping us to please join us on our very cost-conscious diving trips, as this is where most of our money is raised. Please help us to spread the word, as the biggest challenge is advertising and exposure to social media. Again, if you are an admin of a Facebook group, we would very much appreciate it if you could allow us to present our trips on your pages, and if you could pin them so that they don't get lost in the very active sites. Donations, of course, are always welcome, and we will provide tax receipts. We will be moving our donation platform to a new system, which will mean that even if you donate using your credit card, that we won't need to pay any credit card surcharges, and every single cent will go towards the veterans, and not a penny will be wasted. We will be making public our accounting so that you can see where your money is going. So I'd like to announce a few things here. We are adding new features to the website, and we are proud now to announce the rollout of the photo albums, which is now live and on our production site. We've got lots more content to add here, and we are looking for volunteers to help us assign tags and clean up the metadata. We're also planning on adding a social platform where all members can interact without boundaries that we all experience when meeting new people on diving trips. For example, some won't have Facebook, or some won't have WhatsApp, Line, Instagram, or a plethora of other communication platforms. We have some other exciting features that we hope to add to our social platform, but that is a big project for this year, so we are looking for help. We'll also be adding the e-commerce platform in the coming months, where we'll be able to sell diving equipment and diving related accessories, including our tried and tested chargers, media storage, and more importantly, our very own Trident Warrior branded merchandise. So lastly, we'd like to announce our 4 primary diving trips to Philippines, Maldives, Bonaire, and Truk Lagoon. On some of these trips, we will also be running heavily discounted diver training based on land prior to the boat setting sail if it is a liveaboard trip. To find details on the trips, just click on the diving trips from the top menu on the website, or if you want to go to a specific trip, then use the drop down menu. Once you're on the more details page, if you're interested, then please use the form at the bottom of all of the diving trips and send us your details so that we can contact you to answer any questions. These trips are open to everyone and not just veterans, as these are our primary way of raising funds. They are incredibly cheap in comparison to other tour operators. So for example, our Bonaire trip includes flights, a swanky villa, truck rentals and unlimited diving, including nitrox. So please continue to stop by on our website for updates. I organised 2 major diving trips in 2023 and invited several instructors to volunteer and assist in teaching the guests, who were both veterans or members of the public. Part of this program included offering guests the benefit of being able to purchase scuba diving equipment at an exclusive club membership pricing. Here we can see that we sold almost $29,000 in scuba diving gear and provided $7,304 in savings. And these savings rates were identical to all guests, regardless of being civilians or their military service. We did experience some losses in the scuba equipment budget, and those were down to either giving away equipment to veterans or buying equipment as prizes for the lottery which we held on the diving trips, or to replace guests' equipment that was damaged during the trip. There was a total gear loss of $895, which was added to the operating costs of the trips. During the diving trips, we also conducted heavily discounted diver training for both military veterans and also for civilians. For example, we certified all divers on nitrox for free if they were not already certified, and charged a fraction of the industry standard for any of the training that we made available, like advanced open water was only $280. We were able to do this by the generosity of time given to us by several volunteer instructors, which helped us to keep the costs down. Our course materials expense included purchasing manuals, certification fees, and 2 TPVs that are now entered as assets to Trident Warriors. We also spent $920 on materials to provide free training to veterans and received a total income of $5,280 for all training, which gave us a net profit of $1,820 in diver training. This time I've organised and hosted 5 diving trips in the last 3 years, and I've put 4 more trips on the calendar to the Philippines, the Maldives, Bonaire and Truk Lagoon for the next 2 years. All of these trips are designed to be inexpensive to allow low-income earners like our veterans to be able to enjoy this kind of diving in stunning surroundings. We have entered into agreements with 3 diving centres to provide diving and training at significant savings to our veterans going forward. Our volunteer instructors have been able to train 20 veterans and 42 civilians last year, and all 20 veterans received their training at 0 cost to them. One thing that I did learn as the event host and as a contributing instructor and also the organizer of the trips last year is that I recognized the flaw in the 2023 events, where running diver training to basically military style precision on a boat full of tired divers left no room for error and was a mistake, and one that I will never repeat. I do wish to apologize to anybody that was affected, and that this will not happen again, and I will be conducting training in a much more leisurely approach in the future. And all training will be land-based and not run from liveaboards from this point forth. It was simply too much for everybody involved. None of this would have been possible without the extremely generous support of our volunteers, and I do want to spend some time recognizing that each of the individuals that played a significant role in 2023 getting us to where we are today. As you can see, there were over 1,066 total record hours of volunteering. Some of these hours were very effective hours. For example, Chad, pumping in over 90 hours alone in the web development and achieved massive progress, whereas I myself put 136 hours into the development and probably caused more harm than good. So it is volunteers like Chad that truly saved the day and saved me hours and hours and hours of frustration, even in the simplest of tasks, for example, of trying to align text and a damned radio button on a website page. So Chad, you have evolved as just a guest on a diving trip to one of my most prized and appreciated volunteers. Your knowledge of development and beautiful heart have really helped me to keep plugging away, even when I have felt a tug of frustration and failure at my tailcoats. And I'd like to extend a similar courtesy to Cindy and express my sincere gratitude as the admin and moderator of the Facebook group Scuba Women. Whilst her hours were smaller in comparison, they were certainly mighty. We were struggling to fill the boat in Egypt, and Cindy kindly offered to copy the event details and post them into the group that she manages, and was able to forward a lot of the divers to me to process, and that made a big difference in running a positive balance sheet versus what could have possibly been a negative one. So for all group admins, I truly hope that you'll allow us to post our trips and success stories so that we can together make a difference to the diving community, and more importantly to the veterans that sacrifice so much for our freedom. So here we go with a brief breakdown of the volunteer hours. We did try our best in 2023 to track the hours so that we could give recognition to our volunteers. And for 2024, we'll be implementing a process of hours tracking so that we can be far more accurate. Chad has contributed massively to the website development, testing and digitization of the training assessments, and his dedication has been a delight to see and gives me the strength to keep pushing forward with him at my side. I truly cannot thank him enough. Honestly, his 138 hours feels like 1,000. So just go ahead and take a look at our website at www.tridentwarriors.org and tell us what you think. That was all from our great volunteer, fondly named as Hot Chad. Next up, we ran into a sticky situation on the liveaboard trip in Egypt, and whilst Chris joined us as a guest, I already knew that he was a certified OWSI instructor. As things got more hectic and I realized that the training program was falling apart at the seams, I asked him for help, and he so kindly stepped in and gave his time to students that needed that extra attention and give us a little breathing room. Thanks so much, Chris, for stepping up, and we really look forward to you joining us as an affiliated instructor in trips to come. Again, I want to extend a big thanks to Cindy for the generosity of being willing to take a copy of our events and post them into her Facebook group. This made a huge difference, and we are very grateful, in addition to providing some in-water skills training to a diver that didn't want a full certification but just wanted some help with some skills that she wanted to fine-tune. So thanks again to you, Cindy, and to Scuba Women for your support. So next up we have Kathleen, and Kathleen comes to us from one of my very first hosted diving trips to Cozumel, and immediately after Mexico opened its borders post-COVID, as she saw what I was doing and beginning to grow and gain momentum, she asked to be a part of it. Furthering her education at one of our prestigious partners, #ThisIsUDC, at Utila Dive Center, she completed her instructor development course and MSDT training, and then joined us to further develop her skills as a very patient and attentive instructor. So with 84 hours of volunteering work as an instructor, she was an invaluable member of the team. She was also instrumental in bringing many divers to the trip from her region in the upper state of New York, and they all added so much fun and joy every day. So many brilliant characters and friends that we will have for life. So that's a massive, huge thanks to you, Kathleen. We could not have done it without you, and we are sincerely grateful to you. And now to a dear friend that I've had for over 30 years, having served in the British Army with him. We have a very strong bond. So none of my friends or divers on the trip know him as Sean. He was only ever known as Ginger Prick, and he helped me a lot with egging me on, supporting me, and keeping me going when even the most catastrophic obstacles were put in my path. As soldiers, we are trained to overcome and adapt, and there were many moments where we did exactly that. And Sean, I think I should have added an emotional support section to the hour statistics here, mate. But as it is, thank you so much for your 14 hours of helping with digitizing the training assessments. So for myself, with 785 tracked hours invested last year as the founder of Trident Warriors, I've been learning a lot of new skills, new information, and building amazing connections. Some of these hours could have been significantly reduced if I knew what the hell I was doing. So for example, the website development. Some of these hours were just mind-numbingly painful, like the accounting. The biggest thing that I have learned last year is that I needed a team to help me, and that has been the focus on the last quarter of 2023 and is the focus for this year. So at the beginning of this year, I have created the board of directors and the non-profit, as well as the advisory committees. I will be creating a section on the website asking for volunteers with specific skills that we are in need of, and hopefully we can work smarter and not harder this year. So now let's get on to the part that many of you have been asking for, which is the financials for 2023. I've been slow to deliver these due to personal family matters and also focusing on putting the infrastructure together for 2024. Now, I hope you can understand that due to not wishing to release vendors' pricing information, I'm not willing to publish hard numbers with respect to what we were charged for services. However, you can see here that the largest portion of the expenses were due to boat charter costs, which were all at a personal financial risk to myself. And I hope that in time, this kind of personal financial strain can be alleviated by donations and increases in revenue from other activities like the training and diving trips that we led. The hardware values are for 2 DPVs that were purchased so that we could teach those courses, and they are now placed into the Trident Warriors assets. The t-shirts expenses were from a large batch of t-shirts that were custom made, like this t-shirt here. These will be added to the e-commerce platform as soon as it has been built, and the sale of those t-shirts will also help to increase our cash flow. We will actually be customizing some of the logos on the t-shirts. For example, you can see here I have my nation's flag, so we'll be able to customize and put your own nation's flag on there at your request, as well as placing other items on the t-shirts themselves. So the final numbers for 2023 show that Trident Warriors has made a profit of $14,352 for 2023. We actually gave $4,975 to veterans in trip discounts. So this leaves us with a total of $9,377, which will be deposited into the new Trident Warriors non-profit account. I just want to give a big shout out to our 3 primary sponsors and the folks that have really helped us to move things along. The first up is Utila Dive Center. So both Manny and Juicy at Utila Dive Center, a massive heartfelt thanks to you both for supporting the Trident Warriors program. Without this wouldn't have gone ahead. You've been with me since the beginning, and I sincerely appreciate everything that you do and all of the support. And second up is a fairly new relationship with Flying Fish Swim and Scuba out of Kansas. These guys have truly helped me to be able to help our veterans with any scuba diving equipment and just help us along as we accelerate into 2023 and beyond. So again, over to Chris Lemon. I really appreciate having such candid conversations with you and how we actually work together. This is a truly remarkable relationship that we have, and I really hope that we can continue going forward. To Sharif over at Dive Stop in Hurghada, Egypt. You truly saved the day with us with our incident. Unfortunately, there was an incident with our liveaboard boat a couple of weeks prior to departure, and we had to scramble and find another boat. Not just one boat for 1 week, but actually one boat for 2 separate weeks with the same cabin spaces and everything else required. The first week was a little rough, absolutely no doubt. We were feeling our way through. Unfortunately, the crew weren't what we were looking for, but we ironed those kinks out throughout that first week, and the second week was a lot better. I do think that all things considered, that we managed to pull off a miracle between Dive Stop and Trident Warriors and just sticking through it. I know that some of our customers experienced a few things, but however, at least the trip went ahead, and at least nobody had to cancel flights or excursions and any holidays or anything. So without you, we would have been in deep doo-doo. So sincerely, Sharif, thank you so much for all of your support and all of your help. I am working towards a relationship with another diving shop I have become friends with all of the instructors there and everybody that works at the shop, a sponsor and partner to provide the diving services for Operation Oculus Aperture out of Koh Tao in Thailand, and these folks will be serving the APAC region. I hope they do. That is my next trip. I'm actually going to be heading over there fairly soon to sit down and try and flesh things out with them. So to you guys, I hope you watch this video and I hope you see what we're all about, and that this incentivizes you to jump on board with us and give you the support that we so desperately need. So it's crossed. I hope to see you in a couple of weeks, guys and girls. And yeah, I really hope we can bring you on board. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to the updates for 2023. We are looking forward to an extremely productive and fun 2024. So thank you very sincerely from Trident Warriors.